You can use the IV to mask performance-enhancing drugs. So that's why they.
You're backed by arguably one of the greatest of all time, right?
What are we rating ourselves on? What are we rating on?
Okay.
Well, we're going to know in the least amount of fights. You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest game?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather was on PEDs the entire time? Oh my goodness, I'm so surprised.
Floyd Mayweather, who fights Andre Berto on Saturday night, took an intravenous injection that was banned under anti-doping agency guidelines on the eve of his fight with Manny Pacquiao in May, according to a report. SB Nation said Mayweather's medical team told collection agents that IV of saline and vitamins was given to Mayweather for rehydration purposes following the weigh-in. Although the substances were not banned by WADA, the fact that they were given intravenously was not allowed. According to the report, such injections and infusions are banned because they can be used to dilute or mask the presence of another substance. Mayweather was not available for comment.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Hassan's Hits. I got a good one for you guys today. I'm gonna react to Terence Crawford on the Joe Rogan podcast, revealing that he believes Floyd Mayweather cheated against Manny Pacquiao, which leaves Joe Rogan absolutely stunned.
You guys can use IVs to rehydrate?
We can't use IVs either.
No? When did they change that?
I ain't never. They changed anything. I think that was legal because you know when Floyd fought Pacquiao, that was a thing. That he was using IVs or something like that. But yeah, you can't use that stuff.
You can use the IV to mask performance-enhancing drugs. So that's why they outlined it.
SB Nation reported that Floyd Mayweather took a banned IV on the eve of his fight with Manny Pacquiao in May. The United States Anti-Doping Agency issued a statement earlier today disputing that report, stating that Mayweather applied for and was granted permission to take an IV infusion of saline and vitamins. Such injections and infusions are normally banned because they can be used to dilute or mask the presence of another substance. Max, what is your meme for this story?
Please tell me more. Nevada State Athletic Commission and USADA, the testing organization, which refuses to use the most kind of sophisticated tests that can test for these synthetic epitestosterone, etc., masking agents, on the grounds that they're too expensive, even though USADA, who never catches anyone, they once caught one fighter, and that was after public pressure was brought to bear, because they caught him multiple times, they never really wanted to do anything about it, and enough public pressure was brought to bear that they actually did something about it. This organization, USADA, costs like 10 times as much as this organization, VADA, which actually tests and catches fighters. So the real big question from all this is, why insist on USADA, the more expensive test? And the answer is because you're purchasing a result. The inference here is you're purchasing the result you want by spending more money on the organization that does less sophisticated testing.
3 weeks after the fight, they let, Manny and his team know that Floyd Mayweather did use illegal IV fluid. However, he had therapeutic use exemption that they had given to him 3 weeks after the fight.
Whatever it was you took after the weigh-in that you saw that the saline solution and whatever else it was.
Take like what?
I know you saw it put out. They gave you a TUE.
I mean, with any fighters, some fighters take Pedialytes. Let me touch on that subject.
I guess when I'm asking,
just rehydrate. When a fighter's
well, my question is this:
because my urine, my urine was dark, extremely dark, darker than normal. That could be from overworking. And extremely dark.
Well, let me just add, the question I wanted to ask was, you're normally not struggling to make weight because you're walking.
Wasn't struggling there.
Right. So I guess, why did you have
because
trouble hydrating?
a lot of times what happens is that when you work, you become dehydrated. It's not that you're struggling to make weight. It's just he pushes himself so hard. You got to remember.
And I'm a lot older now.
Yeah, and you got to remember.
Hauser had a report that said Floyd Mayweather allegedly failed 3 drug tests with USADA. Think about how strategic and how wild this cover-up is, right?
There has been, about 24 hours ago, there's something that surfaced concerning Floyd. A known journalist out there who writes for Max Boxing and other websites out there, Gabriel Montoya, he's been investigating stuff on PED, performance-enhancing use, and something had come up from a writer from the Examiner mentioned that Floyd in the past tested positive for banned substances 3 times, and it was dismissed by the USADA or the Athletic Commission. Is there anything, any comments or anything that you've heard or bullshit?
He allegedly fails 3 drug tests, and every single time the A sample comes back positive for a banned substance, and every single time USADA would give him an exemption so that they don't have to test the B sample. See, when they test the B sample, they have to let Floyd's opponent and the public know that Floyd Mayweather just failed a drug test for a banned substance. However, if you give him an exemption, you don't have to let the public or his opponent know that he failed a drug test. Therefore, it's swept under the rug. You see how clever and manipulative this is? And that's
Mayweather being tested with a 0.6 and a 0.8 on the ratio between testosterone and epitestosterone. I'm an old man, and my ratio is 1.5 to 2. Mayweather's ratio as an athlete should be between 2 and 3. For him to test less than 1, something is wrong.
Floyd, what are your thoughts on testosterone replacement therapy? Do you know anything about it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Testosterone replacement therapy, you haven't heard of about the juice?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And on paper, when you look at his testosterone levels and his ratios of testosterone to epitestosterone, like when he fought DC, they were so out of whack that it would not be explainable, in my opinion, by anything other than some sort of suppression of your system via the usage of something. So to me,
not hard training, because hard training does suppress it, right?
Yeah, but to the degree where he's literally like a female, probably not. So he
really? It was that bad?
Yeah. So normally the levels would be over 10 times what he had. In general, I'd have to pull it up to remember exactly, but he was like in the single digits for urinary testosterone, which otherwise should be like, it was like 60 plus or something. He was like 4 or something. And it was multiple data points of his testosterone being single digits to a point that would indicate significant suppression, in my opinion.
How would he perform well? Because if he's going into a fight with his testosterone that low.
Because if you have a drug that's suppressing your system, the drug you're taking, presumably, is what is driving your performance vectors that you deem useful enough to use in competition. So hypothetically, if I was using Turinabol, like all those athletes in Russia or whatever using Turinabol, you're going to have some suppression of your testosterone levels, which, you know, on paper could inhibit performance, but you're using the drug to drive performance. Okay. So even though your endogenous levels are lower, you're relying on this compound you're using that you deem useful enough to dope with, potentially.
So now, fast forward back to May 2nd, 2015, when Floyd Mayweather used illegal IV fluid and he got the therapeutic use exemption 3 weeks after the fact. Therefore, you don't even have to test his B sample. You don't have to look for if he had any banned substance in his system and if he was masking any steroids, any type of PEDs. You don't have to look for any of that. You don't have to let the public know, and you don't have to let Manny and his team know. My point here is that Floyd Mayweather has been allegedly cheating and using PEDs probably his entire career. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, comment, like, subscribe, share. I appreciate it.